These three kind of, and the first is we are talking about true reasoning, the functional reasoning, and the reasoning of dependencies. And here is already, I do not need to kind of repeat again, and maybe sometimes it helps to us. And why? Because if we do not understand the reality of and the relative or the causalities, then it's how we can reach unmistaken level of the Buddhahood. And there is a kind of reasoning, or it's like how it is like necessary to have this kind of reasonings. It is by knowing what is or is not the case. And it's like it is by knowing what is correct or incorrect, we can to say, what is or is not the case. In the terms of the causes, and they affect that we pursue one thing and avoid others. And that is also the truth. And when we are searching our reality of relative phenomena, those relative phenomena are basically rely on the cause and effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. And then it's like we understand this meaning of cause and effect. And cause also the very much functional. And the cause is functional means in order to produce the effect of each individual, this cause itself. For example, barley, cause of the barleys, functionably, inevitably, and it's a kind of producing the barley itself. Each individual, their effect, their own individual, their effect. That is the very important, their effect, not others' effect. For example, if I do the positive things and effect is not their effect, may be received the negative, that is not their effect of the positive actions or the causes. If I'm doing the cause of the negative and their own like kind of effect, it is the negative, but never bring the other effect of the positive kind of happiness. And that is the very much necessary to know about that. This is we can do science. This is like kind of our analysis. This is like kind of investigation. And this is like it's a very much necessity for in our life. If we do not to realize it, and just whatever to have front of the mouth to eat, whatever we have front of the mouth to drink, whatever we have the front and the nose to smelling, to according like this, then it's a lot of something happens, And it's like, we say it's like this time is obtain the human existence, we have great opportunity, our mind, it has such advantages. And according to these human bodies, give us such a chance. And then it's like to analyze, this is my life. It's not others. This is my situation. And presently, I'm open my eye, look at those appearances. And those all appearances are not kind of dependent on their own individual cause. And everything is dependently result their own individual cause. And then their perspective, what I need appearances. I need good appearances of the form, good appearances of smell, good appearances of the sound, everything. Then I need to create how it is comes. Naturally, automatically something is occurring, chaos. This kind of order, disorder. Chaos means, for example, our body, speech, and the mind, there is the natural movement. And these movements we more analyze to investigate all the times created. It is some cause, naturally. When we very carefully to look at this movement of the mind, body, speech, then we can to calculate, to analyze how it is to belong, positive, negative. They say this like 3 types of the groups: positive movement, negative movement, then neutral. Beside that, 4th, 5th, maybe not. But then is inside, big, small, bigger or bigger, bigger, small, small, like they divide. But anyway, to resume, positive movement, negative movement, and neutral. Automatically, naturally. And also when we're talking about inner dependencies, 12, we're talking about the convergency ignorance. That is the movement of from our basic, the Buddha natures. And also it is like when we concerning the Buddha nature itself, also we come to talk later, but from that, this movement is like uninterruptedly, uninterruptedly, like a kind of the uninterrupted continuation, uninterrupted movement. There is kind of alternately positive movement, negative movement, positive movement, negative movement. And first, a little bit something moved, this subtle to produced, then it's like, we call that cyclic existence. The cyclic existence, tendencies, like latencies, patterns, and produce something appearances. Appearances making the habitual forming input inside. And then it's like there is appearing the movements occurring. And the positive appearance, negative appearances. And then what we need to talk, and then these appearances of the pleasant, we're talking about pure land, excellent, beautiful, elegant smells, sounds. We wish, we're looking forward. Every day we are searching. If we need to create cause. And it is the benefit for ourselves. It is not necessary to high teachings. That is the basic, very important, very much helpful in the current situations. Good. Like, for example, sometimes he says, hey, I'm like all the times to taking care, I'm like really is hated. Okay? We says, I give up, then I'm sleepy. You sleep, but your movement of body, speech, mind is never sleep. And you say you give up all your activity. I don't want to do negative, positive. You don't want, but you want or not want. Creating body, speech, minds, all the time there's the movement of the positive and negative. According to that, then there is the inevitable of the affect. And then it's like, maybe I say it is chaos and disorder. Disorder means it is like kind of natural to be like this. Then we call the, Mind, it is like kind of wild horse. The movement is maybe like crazy elephant. The movement is like wild horse. This is like kind of monkey. Everywhere is jumping, doing everything. Mad person said, mad beings. And sometimes doing the positive, sometimes it's like really like where the crazy. You do crazy things, doing negative things, the result is negative. For example, one crazy person eat the poison. Poison said, you are crazy. Okay, I haven't got affect. Never say. You crazy person, you drink poison, you will die. Cannot to say it's like crazy persons take the medicinal, it can cure. And like this, to be natural, okay, I want to relax it. I don't believe any causalities. Okay, natural. But natural, what do you mean? There is the creating automatically. And then we have very strange habitual patterns, like latencies. It is like it comes from our ignorant. All the time is, this like wrong path, like a bad horse, negative directions, negative directions, negative directions. Negative directions, there's a movement, it's all the time is the negative. Then create negative things. Then the result is the sufferings. Then who can to take care of that? Who can give free from that? That is we careless, and through the careless, create the careless negative cause. And then it's like careless result of the chaos and the disorder of, and it's the mysterious, big confusion of the sufferings is occurring. And therefore, Buddha's teaching, the nita of that, to taking care of the correct, incorrect. He said it's like, what is the is or is not? Correct, correct. Try as much as Buddha, he said, Shantadev, many masters to say the step by step, each individual, the path. We start the path of the mundane, path of the accumulations, to apply the four applications of the mindfulness, analyze the body, feeling, mind, phenomena, and this is the relative realities and how it is goes to try to understand what is correct, what is incorrect. And if we like this, then it's like there is pursue and avoid another thing. If we analyze what is correct, what is incorrect, we understand is incorrect, we avoid. We understand something is correct, we pursue it. For example, it's like before we didn't eat ice creams. Certainly we analyze ice cream. Many things may be healthy, don't care, but it's tasty, delicious. Maybe someone's also healthy. And then it's like, this crap, it's delicious, make nice feeling, happy. And then pursue. Next time, wherever like kind of these ice creams, we are collecting. It is the truth. And if we come to say it's very much ugly things, we have experience, we researched, oh no, I don't want this kind. Then we try to avoid it. But in order to do these things, pursue and avoid. And the first time we should to know about what it is, what it or is not. Correct or not correct. This is the most important thing. For example, in our worldly, worldly, there says next time is saying that worldly activity, pet instructions, need to analyze what is the correct, what is incorrect. Even if we be in the business class, business office, we should to check first what is correct, what is incorrect. We cannot to do mad things. If we be in the business class, we do mad things, the result is very bad. And we cannot to say be careless, need to care. Worldly, whatever we say is like you're doing something like kind of the purposes for yourself, and like we do the like kind of even the agricultures, collecting the materials. How we need to do that correctly. even the farmers doing the agricultures, before to make the time of the field, after to make the nice to clean up this field, and then put the crop, and then it's like to have very nice herb. And correctly, in the beginning you do crazy things, then it's in the autumn, there's nothing result, not very good herb. It is like this, even the wordly, this is like Mohan Rinpoche's pit instructions. It's not Mohan Rinpoche's, comes from by the Buddha. And therefore we to pursue and avoid. And then it's like, there is to says, and then we pursue and avoid. What is the crafts? Or in philosophy, crafts. And in the Buddhist perspective, there is like a kind of 5 subject matters. The 5, the like kind of big pursuit. Maybe we can to say it's like enter into the kind of big subject matter. Like a kind of crafts, and like a kind of how you can to create and so on correctly. There are many different things. Whatever materials you to do through the like kind of by your hand. I'm okay. 11:30 we need to stop. Yes, organization. Yes, okay. And also it's like generally. It's in the Mohan Rinpoche's text, it's like the craftsman or craftsmanship, healing, language, logic, and inner science. That is the 5 great subjects. In the Buddhist perspective, in the university, they study this one, okay? Craftsmanship is crafts. And the healing, it is like more kind of the medicines perspective, and how is the correct, how is incorrect. For example, through the 4 activities, medicine, explanation, the activity of the food, and also its actions. Through that, we are doing the healings correct, incorrect. And also as the language. It is language, there are kind of the natural conditions, and also it's like there are the different grammatic way to make the pure of the, how do you say, it's like unmistaken on the word, sentences, and different languages, and to make the pures, and the logicals. And also logicals, there's the different logicals, like kind of related to the syllogism in the different logicals, and direct valid cognitions, or it is like indirect and very indirect valid cognitions to understand all the phenomena, like a kind of more, it is like scientific ways, like to analyze everything. Then inner science, it is like more Dharma teachings. This is like in the Dharma teachings, there are many different principles. We have 3 Tripitakas. There are the great 5 objects. And also there is like, we call the small object. And small object, it is like, we call the like synonyms and the performance. And then it's like mathematics and composition and poetries. That is the 5 lesser subjects. And all of them, like this kind of, it's like we need to analyze through like this. What I said is like the correct, what is correct. And through the analyze of the relative truth, what is the correct, what is the incorrect, and then we need to like to pursue correct things we need to pursue, incorrect things we avoid, And then it's like this kind of philosophies. And then it's like they all have this as the how to say, it's like a starting point. And they all have this as the starting point, means it is like this principle 3, valid cognitions. And valid cognition, we say, is like the functional reason, the reason of the dependencies. Through these true valid cognitions, analyze the relative truth, and it's like to understand the cause and effect unmistakably, and afterward, then we can to say is what is correct, what is incorrect, and we have this notion of that, then we pursue, and then it's like the avoid, and this is like a kind of the start point. It is very important. And through that, this included not only the worldly disciplines, but also the training that transcended the words. Through this analysis, that kind of the investigations, and the 3 reasons, the functional reason, and the reason of the dependencies, analyze the relative truth. And through this point, like starting point of, and then we need to understand the like kind of worldly discipline, like even how you can to eat, how you can to wear your clothes, how you can to communicate, how you can to like to arrange in your life, all this sort of even the worldly discipline. And of course, it's not only that, in the training, like training that the transcendent the word, like a kind of inner science of the great, like kind of subject, and through that to understandings, and we are transcendent from the worldly discipline or worldly, which is the nirvana, spiritual tradition of the discipline, and start this point, and through this, like the functional reason and the reason of the dependencies, to analyze the relative realities and go beyond, transcendent, and from this word to the absolute truth of the nirvana.